Today we're going to be talking about the importance of social media and gaming in middle school classrooms. Who am I? I am Morgan Castle and I'm your child's 8th grade teacher. What do I teach my students? I believe it's incredibly important for students in this day and age to know how to properly navigate all aspects of technology, so I teach them about everything from typing essays to playing video games in educational contexts. Students are going to encounter social media, video games, fake news, and so much more with access to the internet, and it is important for them to know how to properly navigate it. So my table of contents. First we'll talk about video games and education, then social media, and then we'll wrap it up with a conclusion. First we're going to start off with video games and how I implement video games into my everyday lessons and why. The importance of using video games in education. We're going to start off with a topic I know you're all wondering about, video games, which can be actually a great learning tool as well as having multiple benefits for children. In my teaching, I use video games in 3 different ways for my students, some more often than others, and here are some examples on how they're important. So we're going to start off with the different types of what they are and the examples of them. We're going to start off with gamification, which is the use of game elements in a non-gaming context, Duolingo, classroom challenges, point systems, rewards, anything like that. Game-based learning, the process and practice of learning using games, so Kahoot, Minecraft, Specialty Education Mode, coolmath.com, board games, and card games even. Finally, there's serious or applied games, which are a custom-built game with a specific learning objective, such as simulation games, games using specific learning goals to complete. Here are the pros and cons. We'll run through a few of them. Some pros of gamification are that it can make boring or repetitive actions fun. They have simple implementation and low costs, but they cannot be used for every type of problem and only appeal to a limited group. Some pros of game-based learning are immediate feedback, keeps attention for a long time, and some cons are limited supply and the teacher must have knowledge of the game being used. Serious games, the pros are there is a high degree of immersions created specifically for learning a specific objective and can be tailored to any group. The cons are that it's expensive and game development requires long support and specific knowledge of the objective. Research on the effect of video games on students. So this was conducted by the National Institute of Health on 2,000 children. It found that video game players who play for 3 or more hours a day were faster and more accurate on cognitive tasks than those who never played. And then their brain function showed more activity in the regions of the brain associated with attention and memories than those who never played. They also show more activity in the frontal region associated with cognitively demanding tasks. Here are the research on demographics for video games to show that this is prevalent with this age group. 21% of gamers are under 18. 70% of parents say that video games had a positive effect on their child. 67% of parents play video games with their children at least once a week. And 70% of those under 18 play video games regularly. The conclusion found by this tech jury technology website found that video games are silently becoming a part of our everyday lives, and it's not only teenagers that are playing, but people of all ages, sexes, and walks of life are joining in on the frenzy. Therefore, I find it important to implement video games into learning, as it's something that is statistically proven to be interesting in the age group I teach, as well as something they'll encounter for years to come. Now we're going to talk about social media, how I implement aspects of social media in the classroom, as well as discussing online safety. 302.35 million active social media users in the United States, and 5.17 billion active social media users globally. Here are the top 3 media sites and a little bit about them. I'll just run through the top 3. So we have TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. These are all commonly used by students and many people. The 3 I find most useful in the class are TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. TikTok has many educational short videos that can captivate students. Instagram can be used for students to share images of their completed projects or for us to share upcoming events with students. And YouTube has many educational videos of varying focuses and lengths that are targeted towards educating children. How can social media be educational? Although social media is not typically something you may consider educational or important for students to learn at school, many social media aspects can be implemented into lessons to help connect learning to real-life fundamentals. Students can use social media to share their completed works, to learn more about a topic, or to communicate with classmates and teachers through school-specific social media sites. Here's some research on social media in middle schoolers. Those who check their social media feeds 15 times a day or more responded quicker and more intensely to perceived good or bad emotions from peers. compared to those who checked once a day or less. And the students who used social media little reacted less strongly to social cues over the same time period. Some ways to use social media in the classroom are playing educational videos from social media sites such as YouTube or TikTok, using live streaming or discussions for lectures, posting class updates or reminders, and creating a class blog. Some educational YouTube channels are TED Ed, Minute Physics, Khan Academy, The Brain Scoop, and Crash Course. In conclusion, research has proven that video games and gamification and social media are prevalent in the lives of middle schoolers and can be beneficial to be implemented and taught in the classroom. This is why I choose to do this with my students. Thanks. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at this email, and these are the credits to the people who created this slide. And then these are all the resources I used in this lesson. Thanks.